What's up, guys? Python here, back with another video, and I can't believe I'm here making this video, but I'm here making it. Today we are going to preview the series of the Rangers and the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I can't believe, like I said, we're in the conference finals, but I'm not going to complain at all, and yeah, we're just going to go with it. We're going to cover, if you haven't watched these previews before, pretty much what we do with this is we look at what the Rangers need to do against Tampa, what they've done against Tampa in the regular season. Granted, it doesn't necessarily say much, but we're going to go over also just how the Rangers played last series and what they could do to carry over in the next series, etc. So before we dive into the preview and everything, be sure to leave a like on this video if you do enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans, as we cover the Rangers here on the channel. So let's not waste any more time and let's dive into this. So we're here. We're here, and halfway to a cup. But you're now playing the sleeping giant that is the Tampa Bay Lightning. You're playing a team that swept the Florida Panthers and that has won back-to-back cups. So this, by any stretch of the imagination, will not be easy. Not at all. But we're here, so we're going to talk about how the Rangers can win. Goals for per game. So this is, I'm going raw into this, so I don't know the numbers personally. Rangers have more than Tampa Bay. Now, with this number, how much will this go down? Because obviously you're playing Andrei Vasilevsky, who is a completely different animal than Ronta and Louis Domingue and Peter Kochetkov and Tristan Jarry and Casey DeSmith, who you could throw in the mix since he played a game, most of a game. So this number, will you expect it to go down? The thing is, at the same time here, though, is I expect this number to go down drastically against Carolina, who is a tight defensive team, and I don't know how much it went down, but I don't think it really dropped significantly. The fact that the Rangers are still over 3 goals for per game, that is absolutely ridiculous to me. Say what you want about who they're playing in goal. It's huge. Tampa Bay sitting pretty as well over 3 goals per game, but they have a task too. They're playing Igor Shesterkin, so it is going to be interesting to see. Of course, it's really going to come down to goaltending as expected. Goals against. Now, this is where it does get concerning. Again, this is where the goaltending duel. I don't know how much this number is different if you take away the 2 games against Pittsburgh, but I'd say that the numbers are pretty equal given the past series with the Rangers and Canes, and then the Lightning and the Panthers. They got to be sitting somewhat close here in goals against per game. But again, both teams going up against goalies that they have not gone up against before. No disrespect to Bobrovsky or Campbell, but they're not Igor Shesterkin. And no disrespect to the 4 goalies that I mentioned that the Rangers, or 5 goalies that the Rangers played before. They are not Andrei Vasilevsky. So this is going to be very interesting, and it's, of course, going to come down to which goalie makes more mistakes. But special teams is also going to be crucial. The Rangers' power play sitting over 30%. Tampa Bay only sitting about over 20%. Tampa Bay doesn't have Braden Point right now. When will he come back in the series? Not really too sure. I think Tampa's practice lines actually got revealed before I made this. So let's see actually if Braden Point is practicing with the team, if I could get my face recognition going, and he is not practicing with the team. So that could change things. Their power play, like I said, not doing as good as it usually does, and the Rangers penalty kill sitting over 80%. But Tampa Bay, they have a strong penalty kill, so the Rangers are really gonna have to try to expose flaws in that penalty kill when they get the power play opportunities. But on the other side of it, the Rangers penalty kill is probably going to have to be a bit stronger because Steven Stamkos' one-timer on that power play is deadly. shots against per games played, the Rangers allow quite a lot of shots, but Tampa Bay is also allowing a good amount of shots. If you look at the teams that are actually, I mean, 3 of the 4 bottom 4 teams from last round, they're eliminated that were limiting the shot opportunity. So it is going to be, it's really going to come down again to which goaltender makes the mistakes. And faceoff percentage, you'd think Tampa Bay is strong, but they're actually sitting pretty low. And is that a factor of Braden Point not being there? Who knows? But if Braden Point isn't playing for a part of the series, then you got to expose that. You got to expose that. So in terms of which Rangers have been producing, Mika Zibanejad woke up a lot, and he quietly had a pretty good series against Carolina. Pittsburgh, he definitely struggled until the end, but he definitely came alive against Carolina, even when the matchups weren't favoring him. So it's going to be interesting to see him going up against, I don't know which line Tampa Bay is going to deploy against Zibanejad, whether that's the third line, which Nick Paul has now moved up to the second line. So how is that going to be against Zibanejad? Is it going to be the fourth line? Who the hell knows? But you do have home ice, which is huge. And Mika's going to have a big series as well, especially considering who their number 1 center is. Adam Fox quietly having 18 points. Just ridiculous that he does. Andrew Kopp, 12 points, 3rd in the team in points. Yeah, I definitely didn't have that on my bingo card, having Andrew Kopp have more playoff points after the first 2 rounds over Chris Kreider, Artemi Panarin, and even Ryan Strome. I definitely didn't have that on my bingo card. But Andrew Kopp is having a great series, and he is defensively. I'd like to see him win a bit more faceoffs when he does go into the center position, but nitpicking there. Ryan Strome also needs to wake up in the faceoff dot. So he picked it up a bit towards the end of the series. If he could carry that going into next series, that is going to be a problem for Tampa Bay, because no disrespect to Nick Paul, but Ryan Strome I'd give the edge to as the number 2 center right there. And I don't think I'm really pissing anyone off by saying that. Ryan Strome I'd take over Nick Paul as my number 2 center. Granted, I wouldn't want necessarily either as my number 2 center, but I would give the nod there. And if Ryan Strome, like I said, could carry that momentum going into this series, it is going to be a problem for Tampa Bay. Frank Vatrano also picked it up. That could be another problem for Tampa Bay. Alexi Lafreniere, Filipino, Kakko, if he can get the points going, another thing that will be a problem for Tampa Bay. He had a very strong end of the series as well. Lafreniere and Hedl, I don't know where these two were during the regular season, but glad they're here in the playoffs when it matters. And if they keep producing, another problem there. Defensively, I'd really like them to tighten up a bit more. I'm going to need a bit from Jacob Trouba. He's going to need to stop taking as many penalties as he has. I will say that. Granted, 5 of those are from a fight, but I'd like to see a bit less. And another thing we could talk about here is Sammy Blais might come back this series. He's been skating in a non-contact jersey. When will he be back? My guess would be earliest game 5. As long as there is a game 5. My guess is that is the earliest. So I'm going to be interested to see who comes out. And if I had to pick, it is between Kakko and Reeves for me. And I know I'm going to piss people off. The reason why I say maybe Kakko instead of Reeves is you don't want guys like Pat Maroon and Corey Perry to go out there and absolutely take the heads off of our guys. So you might want a guy like Ryan Reeves to set the tone there in the lineup. But at the same time, Tampa is a fast team. So do you want a guy like Sammy Blais in there for Ryan Reeves? It's gonna be a tough choice if Blais gets ready. But if you're down in the series, then obviously and you need to change something up, then I guess you evaluate from there. But looking at it right now, to me, it's between those two guys personally. Let's look at the matchups from this season so far. So this was their first meeting. This was December 31st. So this was the New Year's Eve game. Jesus Christ. We had Niels Lundqvist and Libor Hayek playing, and we still managed to win this game. Now. Something to take of note. Nikita Kucherov did not play. Brian Elliott played this game. And Igor did not have the strongest game. So you do have a lot. You have a lot on both sides here. Tampa Bay didn't have Kucherov. We didn't have who we have now. That being Braden Schneider, Frank Vetrano, Andrew Kopp, Tyler Mott, and who could have been hurt for us? I mean, Greg McKegg was playing. So clearly somebody was out of the lineup. I don't know why I can't figure out who. And Zach Jones and Gettinger were the scratches. Okay, so I feel like someone was hurt, but Hayek was playing and Nemeth. So Ryan Lindgren wasn't playing. So there you go. You have a couple guys on both sides that weren't there, because on Tampa Bay side, they didn't have a Nick Paul. They didn't have Brandon Hagel. Brandon Hagel, I don't think, has been having the strongest postseason for Tampa Bay. But like I said, in this matchup, it's really hard to judge these regular season matchups given when they took place, because this was before the deadline and everything, so it's tough to evaluate. But in this matchup, this is, of course, when Barclay Goodrow had that absurd game as he got his Stanley Cup ring before this game. And like I said, the Rangers need to neutralize Steven Stamkos on the power play because he is lethal. But from what I remember from this game, I don't remember this being the strongest game. Rangers got outshot in this one. Face-off dot, they weren't too bad. But given the circumstances of the lineup, I mean, Ryan Hunt was playing. Greg McKegg was playing. I'm not going to complain with this one. I think the next two matchups are more telling of how the Rangers could play against a team like Tampa. They didn't have Kucherov again, yes, but Andrei Vasilevsky was in goal. The thing is, though, he turns it up to another level in the playoffs, so we'll see. But Mika Zibanejad, I was at this game. Mika Zibanejad gets the hat trick in this one, and Ryan Strome as well scores a goal. Like I said, you have your top two centers going, and it is a problem for other teams. And look at some of the names we have playing. Tim Gettinger, Dryden Hunt, Libor Hayek, Niels Lundqvist was still playing. Zach Jones played this game. So you had a good amount of your defense not playing. Didn't have Schneider. Didn't have Braun at the time. No Nemeth, which I'm not going to complain there. Ryan Lindgren didn't play as well in this one. But Igor Shesterkin, of course, getting a shutout. Tampa Bay had too many chances in this game. The Rangers didn't have that many. And they still managed to capitalize on the chances that they got against Andrei Vasilevsky. And it's eerily similar to how they played against Carolina all of this series, huh? Eerily similar. And I think Ray Ferraro brought up the stat, or Sean McDonough, one of them did on the broadcast, that the Rangers won 31, I guess now 32, including the playoffs. I don't know if they were including playoffs or if it was just regular season, but 31 or 32 at this point. Games where the Rangers got outshot, they won. And it's a matter of capitalizing on those opportunities that you get. 2 power play goals for Mika. Again, got to capitalize on the opportunities that you get here against this Tampa Bay penalty kill. And even 5-on-5, they played good. They played good. Again, Tampa Bay had a lot of injuries. In this game, though, this was the statement game, one of the statement games that the Rangers made, where Ryan Reeves ended up saying in the postgame that we're proving that we can hang with the big boys. And this is exactly the type of game that was really more telling. You had a more even matchup. You had Andrei Vasilevsky in goal. You had Igor in goal. Kucherov was back. Tampa Bay had a healthy defense. The Rangers had a full defense. Even Patrick Nemeth in the lineup because they didn't have Justin Braun. They still had freaking Greg McKegg playing. They still had Dryden Hunt playing. Johnny Brzezinski. They didn't have any of these trade deadline acquisitions, but the Rangers still managed to win this game. Again, neutralize Tampa Bay's power play. Braden Point isn't going to be playing from game 1. You need to jump all over that. You need to. Jacob Trouba scored that goal, and then, yep, Mika Zibanejad, he got that power play goal late in the game, which, by the way, crazy to think that if this game went to overtime, I'm not sure if Tampa would have got home ice then, but Tampa finished with one less point than us, or not one less point, they finished with the same amount. If this game went to overtime, that could have been a difference maker. So Zibanejad coming up clutch there, and this was a game that the Rangers made a statement that we're here, and this team could make some noise. Limited Tampa to only 29 shots. I need a defensive effort like this from the Rangers. Face-off percentage, they didn't win in the face-off dot, but they still hung in there a good amount. This was probably the Rangers' best effort against Tampa, given the circumstances. Yes, they had the 4-0 win, and Zibanejad got a hat trick, but in terms of the Tampa Bay lineup, in terms of who the Rangers had, in terms of everything, this was the Rangers' best performance. But again, this matchup was March 19th, so still had pretty much you had over 2 months of hockey that was played since these guys have met, so it's not really too telling of how this one's going to go. And I don't know. I really don't know. But all I know is that the Rangers need to step up their penalty kill game, which they did pretty good in the first two series. But, well, I wouldn't necessarily say they did great against Pittsburgh. But the penalty kill is going to have to come alive and strong. And you're going to need to capitalize on those power play opportunities because you're not going to get many. And any chance that you get to beat Andrei Vasilevsky, you're going to have to take advantage of it. So I couldn't tell you who's going to win, but I will say that, oops, wrong scene. That was the old podcast scene. But I will say that the Rangers are going to have to, I think game one is actually pretty much a must win, given the fact that Andrei Vasilevsky has not lost back-to-back games in the postseason. So dating back to their 2 Stanley Cups, because of course they got swept. But this is going to be a tall task, and if the Rangers win this, then we'll take it from there. But one series at a time, and I couldn't tell you. All I'll say is I hope the Rangers keep the engine rolling, and I hope that they keep on winning and proving people wrong. But that is going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you guys are new, turn notifications on, and I will see you in the next one. Let's go Rangers, baby.